Hi, I'm Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be Women Love Men They Can't Control. Well, I got a short email success story here from a guy who met a girl while he was out country dancing. I'm assuming he was doing like line dancing or something like that. Gave her his number, later set a date, had a good first date, little kissy poo at the end of the date. About a week or so later, calls her to make a second date, leaves a message, and then the next day she messages back saying, "Hey, I had a good time, but I'm talking to somebody else." And he says, "Hey, no problem. Let me know if you change your mind." And not an hour later, he's back at the same venue, and who does he see? He sees this girl. And so it's an interesting success story happens. I had something similar. That's what, obviously why it caught my eye. Maybe why this guy even sent this in to me, because it involves a country bar. And the cool thing is, this guy has a nice success story versus me when I was younger, didn't know any better, didn't have a book like mine to teach me these things. I ended up talking to a girl out of liking me who was really into me. And it's, when you're young and you don't know any better, this was before the internet. There was no access to people like me out there. And so it's cool to be able to read something like this 30 something years after that particular event in my own life, where here's a guy that can learn from me, apply what's in the book, and actually have a great memory of a success instead of getting burned or stung. And because it's, this particular girl that I wrote about in my book, it's like, man, it's like the eye contact. We were eye fucking each other, and it's just, I was young. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't know how to move it from that ultimately to the bedroom. And so instead of having a great memory, I have the pain of rejection. And so it's nice to read something like this, but it really brings up a good point, because indifference makes a difference. And here he is. It's like, I don't, I'll get into the email in a second, but you say, well, why is it that this girl went from, oh yeah, I'm talking to somebody else, see you later, to not even a few hours later, complete attitude change? And so you could tell he's learned my work and probably has been through 7 Principles, Get an X back, so he knows how to handle objections when a girl friends on you or says she's dating somebody else. And it's just another powerful example of how well this stuff works. It's going to put you in the position to give you the best possible chance for success versus going down in flames like I did when I was in my early 20s in a similar situation. So he says, "Hey, coach, I wanted to share a success story that I thought was pretty funny. I met this girl country dancing. I gave her my number, set up a date, took her on a nice date, dropped her off, and gave her a long goodnight kiss and left. Fast forward a week, I called her up for another date. She didn't answer, and the next day, so she's waiting 24 hours to respond basically, she texted me saying, 'Thanks for taking me out, but I'm talking to someone else.'" So the fact that she reached out because if she really didn't care, she would have just ghosted him. But the fact that she reached out shows on some level she appreciated the guy, or there was interest there. But there's some other dude. And hey, sometimes another guy gets there before you. And, I did a video years ago called Why You Have No Competition. And the way this guy has applied what he's learned from me completely caused her to change her mind, apparently. Because imagine that, women are prone to change their mind. So whenever they tell you something, just remember it's in the moment. The guys in the red pill community have the attitude of, oh, you're just her second choice. She chose somebody else first. And it's like, that's such a bitch mindset. That's so weak. It's like she's seeing another guy, and then she walks away from you, and you're like, see you later. And she's like, wait a minute, because most guys don't have the balls to do that. And then she comes back. And a winner looks at that and says, well, she smartened up, or she wised up and realized what an awesome dude I am. Maybe she tested the other guy and he folded like a cheap deck chair. Women are always testing strength. And like I said, sometimes you don't know what's going on in her life, especially somebody you just met. There could be another guy, could be an ex. That's why it's always better not to burn a bridge. As a matter of fact, the guy who I learned this from, one of my dearest friends in the whole world, he and I were having a chat last night. We're going to be getting together soon. He's coming down to visit. But it's like that was one of the things that he taught me. And he's been married over 30 years now at this point. And he started dating his wife, who's now his wife, for a few weeks. And quite frankly, he was the bad boy from school. He was the guy that slept with all the hot girls and was very aggressive, is used to getting what he wanted, used to women. He got rejected, but he would laugh it off. He always thought it was funny and humorous. And he was never deterred. He never had a bad attitude about it. He was just like, well, on to the next. And there always was another one. And so here he is, he's dating what eventually turns out to be his future wife. And I think they were going out 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. It was just like once a week or whatever. They were seeing each other and he's like making progress. But she was dating other guys. So she's dating an older guy who's a doctor, is more successful, got his life together. And my friend, he's like living with his sister. He's partying all the time. He didn't really, and these are his words. He's like, I didn't really have my life together at that point. And she basically tells him, hey, I've been seeing this other guy and it's kind of getting serious. So I want to see where it goes. And he wasn't happy about it because he really liked her. And he was like, hey, no problem. Give me a call if it doesn't work out. Just like that. He didn't say, oh, I'm her second choice. What a loser I am. He's like, well, of course she's wised up and chose me because I'm awesome. And, of course, a month or so later, it didn't work out with the doctor because he probably turned into a bitch. And she got in touch with my buddy, and they've been together ever since. And it's just, he says, and I remember talking about this many, many years ago. And he's like, yeah, never burn a bridge with a girl. He's like, you don't know what's going on. She may call you in a few months, who knows, 6 months, a year, whatever. It's like you should take that as a compliment that she thought highly enough of you to reach out. Because if you're an ass to her, then you'll, like the red pill guys are, the girl's never going to get in touch with you. And then you get no shot. And then, yeah, you're a loser. Act like a winner. Think like a winner. Of course she chose me. It's like, that's the obvious choice. Took her a little time to arrive at the correct conclusion. It's like, well, whatever, she's with me because I'm a fucking winner. So he says, instead of getting butthurt, I replied, no worries, call me if things change. Which, again, borrowed from one of my dearest friends. Is like, man, that was a powerful piece of information there. And it's like, who knows how many tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people's lives have been changed because of that. One little piece of wisdom. And she said she would. About an hour later, after she sent that text, I happened to see her at the same country dance. So she probably was thinking about it all day and was further along with this other guy, and she's thinking it's going to proceed with him. And instead of him getting mad and butthurt, which quite frankly, most guys get butthurt in that situation. They don't react too well. They get pissed off that she chose somebody else over them instead of looking at it going, well, maybe she's known the other guy longer. Maybe it's an ex. You don't know what you don't know. So you should always have an attitude, be unperturbable. You want to be calm. It's like, take it or leave it. It'd be nice to get together, but if not, maybe we'll get together sometime in the future. So he says, well, I gave her a great big smile because as I talk about in 7 Principles to Get an Ex Back, like, what if you work together? What if you see this person all the time that friend zones you or gets serious with somebody else or, like in this case, oh, hey, I'm already talking to somebody else, so I can't see you. You're going to, if you make eye contact, you smile, you wave, and then you go about your business. You don't go out of your way to see her. It's like, how would you treat her if you're tired of fucking her? You'd be nice, you'd be polite, but you'd be busy looking for the next great love of your life and the next exciting experience. You're going to have a good attitude like one of my best friends does. And it's served him well. He's one of the happiest, most fun-loving dudes I've ever met. And he's always smiling. He's always been nice to me. He's a little cranky sometimes. He's had too much to drink late at night. But other than that, he's always been a good, great, loyal friend for many, many decades. And people like that are hard to come by. So he's a very wise guy. He says, well, I gave her a great big smile and proceeded to politely ignore her the whole night. I wasn't rude or butthurt. I simply danced with every pretty girl there besides her. And that's what my friend was doing. Because I think it was like a week or two later, we're out at the same bar, bars that we all frequented, and she'd be out with her friends. And what's he doing? He's talking to a bunch of cute girls. It's like he waves, he smiles, but it's like he's not going over to talk to her because he's talking to cute girls that are single and ready to mingle. She had already taken herself out of the game because she got serious with the doctor. It's like it just works beautifully. Women like you more if they see that other women like you, especially pretty women. Hey, she said she was talking to someone else. So, well, after about 30 minutes, she came over and asked me to dance. You see how that works? He was unperturbed. He was calm. He wasn't bothered by it. And something inside her is just going... Because every dude she's probably ever met has never behaved that way after she politely let them down or rejected them. They'd be like, why didn't you choose me? I'm not good enough for you? That's the kind of attitude that most dudes have. And then they want to start naming, I make X and Y, look at my Rolex, and I drive a nice car. He's just out having a good time. He says, we danced. I teased her playfully and kept things light. We finished our dance, and a few minutes later, we were making out behind the dance. Crazy what ignoring a girl politely can do. It's not that you were ignoring her. You're focused on your purpose and your mission, which is you're looking for a girl who's single and ready to mingle. This other one, she said, hey, I'm out because I'm talking to somebody else already. He's like, no problem. Let me know if things change. Meanwhile, she's like, ooh, look at this cute girl over here. Look at that cute girl. And he's focused on that. It works wonders. So he says, thanks for your work, Corey. I've read your book every morning, and it's helped me a ton. I love you, man. Well, I appreciate that, dude. Thank you, Bob, for sharing that great little short success story. But it's so nice. I'm envious of guys like him that they can read my book and watch my videos and learn this stuff. And I have to go through all the crap and all the rejection and all the pain and all those what ifs and all those memories in the past of not getting the girl. And here you can read a book like mine and watch some videos and boom, 24 hours later, he's with her. Isn't that beautiful? And she would probably go like, oh, it's meant to be. It just kind of happened. It's like he acts like a man. He's calm. He's indifferent. He can take it or leave it. He's got an abundance mentality. He's like, hey, if this girl's not going to kiss me, maybe that one there or that one there or that one there. That's the attitude that my buddy always has had. He's very aggressive, says what he wants, doesn't care what you think about him, and will laugh in your face. If you get upset, he's not going to care. And if you start shit, he'll punch you in the mouth. He's a man. He's a man's man. That's why he was probably the most popular guy that in my high school class. And girls loved him, even though like, you're dating who? Oh my God, I can't believe you're dating him. But it's like, even though girls would complain like that, they would still go out and sleep with him, even though they act in front of all their other girlfriends like, oh, I would never date him. Next thing you know, he's hooking up with them. So if you got a question or a challenge and you'd like to get my help, go to understandingrelationships.com, click the products tab at the top of your screen, and book a coaching session with yours truly. Until next time, I will talk to you soon.